Good morning. How are you today? Well, we got kind of grayish skies, except where they're blue, It's quite amazing. And it's chilly because a storm is coming in. I don't know how big, so we'll have snow maybe in the early morning hours tomorrow. Or what is Sunday? Yeah. So, what's the good news? Well, we have good news. We have Biden leading the nation and in a direction that we can embrace. And he basically said he's prepared to bring anybody into the fold, consider any offer any good Republican has to make to deal with the crises that run from the pandemic, both in terms of helping local governments, helping the poor, the unemployed, all of the things that a government should be doing. Promote the general welfare. Would be nice, wouldn't it? But the last administration didn't believe that, and there are many Republicans who do not. We know that in the Senate, there are 10 Republicans that are, I think, trying to find their way. The question is, will they make the big leap? But in any case, with the help of Kamala Harris and the Democrats, the stimulus bill has passed with amendments. And some people were upset that Manchin proposed an amendment to strike the minimum wage. And that was not a bad thing. In the case of this bill and in the case of the reconciliation, because that's not a budget item. And so the bill can't pass, or that portion of it can't pass. So some amendments were made to this bill to fit the reconciliation process that involves dollar items, so that when they have the reconciliation between the House and the Senate, they can pass it. So Manchin has been very conservative. I don't know what he would do about this if it was a freestanding bill. But his motion in connection with it in the budget reconciliation context is not a slur on him. Somebody had to do it at some point so that the bill would not be subject to challenge for that aspect of it. So, and then there were some amendments, some of which were accepted, some were not. And he's basically said it's not that he thinks that this is too much. He's concerned that it might not be big enough. And I like that attitude, and that is that America first means the people are coming first, and not the insiders and not the corrupt gang that hung around Trump. I'm also encouraged that he basically says we're not going to give intelligence to Trump. And he says it more neatly than that and more politely than that. But that you would have to take a nanosecond to reject the notion that Trump should have access to any intelligence at the same time you're charging him with inciting to riot and insurrection. It's impossible to contemplate. In the same category of good news, we have learned that not only were we right to give the heave-ho off the committees to Representative Green from Georgia, but in her true spirit, she now says, now she's free to push the party further to the right. And now she's free to make it the party of Trump. Boy, if we ever got something right, it was kicking her in the hindquarters and moving her off the table. I can't believe people give her air. And I guess while I'm carp sniveling and complaining a little bit, I listen to some people on my favorite cable station, and I cannot for the life of me understand why, when they report that one of the arguments for the impeachment is whether or not it matters that Trump is no longer in office. The precedents are clear. There is nothing to contradict it. Why they give air to this nonsense is almost as bad as those who would report that Trump thought he won. It's sort of like defying gravity in a way. That is the first law of information. Something that you can confirm and that you know and is in writing. Why do you allow them to spread this nonsense, to give cover to Republicans who do not put first our democracy, who are in favor of autocracy, who will do anything to get elected, And the only way I think they believe they can be elected is to the extent they suppress the vote of most of America. That's just not acceptable. So a strong letter to follow. This is a good time. I don't know about you, but I'm sleeping better because there's a regularization of how things are done, even our disputes. I don't know if the Republican Party is lost, and forgive me for repeating this, but you know, when Jefferson replaced Adams after Adams had his faults, and he was more of a monarchist than certainly Jefferson, who was the Democrat. And he had a big debate sitting as the vice president in the Senate chambers, and therefore the Senate of the chambers. He was more active than people who've had that post have since. And he got involved in the debate about whether the president should be His Excellency. And so he saw the president in kind of a royal cast. And when Jefferson became president, and by the way, the Senate didn't go along with that, and Washington didn't want to be hailed that way in his leadership post. In the 2 terms that Jefferson had, there was nothing left of Adams' party after that. And if the Republicans don't learn and become the loyal opposition, there'll be another party, it'll be transformed, or it'll be obliterated if we're on watch all the time. So, have a good day. Tomorrow I'll pick my way through the snow. Bye-bye.